Hi, this is Rachelle at Scrapcraftastic, and I'm going to be doing the Halloween page setup in my everyday planner, which is a B6 Stalogy. And these are the daily pages from last week. I'll link to this setup in the iCard up above, so you can go check it out. And I'm going to do a journal style, art journal style page. I have this black paper that I've already trimmed down to fit on the page. So I'm going to be covering the left page with that. And I'm using the tape runner to adhere that to the page. By the way, the cover that is on the Stalogy is from MLG Co. So here on the other page, I'm going to have a torn look. So I'm tearing off a piece of the black paper to add to the right page. And so I'm adding the tape runner to that as well, being careful to make sure I get as close to the edge as possible. So here I'm going to use the large numbers that I have from Tim Holtz, and I'm going to use the 3 and the 1 to stamp 31 on the page. And I'm using a ruler to help me line those up. And because I haven't used these particular stamps before, I am going to do a test stamp. I also put a page marker there or a writing board to give me more of a flat surface when I get ready to actually stamp on the page. I'm using the Ranger dye ink in black, and this is my test stamp. So what I've learned here is that I need to put more ink on the stamp as much as I can get on there. So that's what I'm doing here. And now I am ready to stamp the 31 on the page. It's a better impression. It's not perfect, but when you're working in a journal or notebook like this, it's difficult to get a perfect stamp. If there is such a thing, there's always going to be some flaws. But I'm okay with the light spaces. I didn't even think there was a need to fill those in with a marker. So here I'm using a stamp set, a Halloween stamp set that I had never even opened. I think I've had it for 2 years. So I took out the Happy Halloween text and I'm testing that on my paper before I actually stamp it into the planner. I'm inking it up very well, and I'm going to stamp that above the 31. So next I'm going to use one of the abbreviated weekdays, the MON for Monday, to stamp the day of the week on my page. And these are the same script stamps that I used in last week's setup. So now I'm going to some pumpkin stickers that I printed and cut. These were free graphics that I got from Pixabay. And I'm just working with placement, seeing how I want to arrange them. So I didn't like the blue in this one particular pumpkin. It just doesn't seem to go well with anything. So I am coloring that in black, and I'm also coloring in the other pumpkin black. Here I have a scrap piece of cardstock that I'm going to use as a template to draw a box. And I'm going to use my white Jelly Roll pen to draw the box. And I'm doing a similar box to what I did in last week's spread. Okay, and then I remembered that I had the witch's boots. So now I'm trying to figure out a way that I can use those on this layout. I didn't initially intend to use them because I forgot about them, but now I want to incorporate them. So I'm working on how they will be used. So here's my bag of Tombow markers. I have some other markers in here as well. These are the Tombow dual brush pens, and I'm using a variety of oranges and purples to color in the witch's boots. These are die cuts that I cut using either my Silhouette or Cricut. I have an actual stamp of this boot, and I stamped and scanned it, and then I flipped one the other way. So that's how I have them going in different directions. Here I am inking up the edges so that white core won't show once I adhere them to my page. You could do this same thing with a black marker. So then I decided I didn't like the boots in the box necessarily. Thankfully, the pumpkins are easy to peel off of the black paper. So they're not pumpkins, they're jack-o'-lanterns, but I'll say pumpkins. You know what I mean. So anyway, I decided to put them inside the box and put the boots down at the bottom of the page. I think the problem I have with Halloween is that I have so many ideas, and it's really hard to fit everything that I want to do in the time that I have to do it. So in this instance, I think there's too much going on, but I just really wanted to fit everything in. So I guess I'll have to live with that. And here I'm looking at how I want to add the jack-o'-lanterns to the box. So I'm trimming them off at the bottom to make it look like they are actually inside of that box. So I wasn't quite happy with the spacing. I think they look better next to each other, overlapping a little bit. So I moved one over. Here I'm going in drawing a spider web with my white Jelly Roll pen. And I really messed this up, but I tried to save it and salvage it. I think it came out okay, but it still looks a little strange to me, but it's fine. It's a spider web. Here I'm just anchoring the other jack-o'-lantern onto the page. And here I am writing out something wicked this way comes. I don't know why that is the only Halloween quote that comes to mind for me, but it's like I use it all the time. So yeah, I put it here, and I went over it with the white Jelly Roll pen, and then I went over the downstrokes to darken it a little bit. Here I decided to put some faux stitching around the page. So I used the white Jelly Roll on one part, on the black part, and I used a black pen on the white part. So that's it. That is my Halloween journal style page. I do have a little room to write in the box and on the torn page. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you may be interested in these other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.